What's up, Vibranium Squad? Stand up today. And if you have some earphones, put them on. If you're in the car and you're listening to the radio, turn it up. Because today I want to actually talk about something that I've watched like over 50 times. But before I begin the video, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and post a comment below and let me know what you think about Luke Cage season 2 if you have watched it on Netflix. I want to start this video by just talking about I've seen Luke Cage season 2 over 9,000 times. Like, I've seen it a lot. And truthfully, even though I know it's canceled, I really do hope they reboot it. I want to just discuss with you guys my thoughts on the entire season 2 because personally, I loved it. I love the gang war that they had between Mariah Dillard and Bushmaster. I also dig the fact that Mariah became pretty much like the queen of the Stokes and the best out of all the Stokes. Now, I know most fans love Cottonmouth in season 1, but Cottonmouth in season 1 shouldn't have died as fast as he did. He should have been the main villain all the way through season 1, but they used his death to move Mariah, and truthfully, I didn't think that was like such a bad move too much. I also liked how Bushmaster was portrayed. He was portrayed a little differently from his comic books. Most of these characters in the Luke Cage Netflix series was actually portrayed differently than how they are portrayed in their comic book, and it's not always a bad thing when you change something of the comic books. You know, there's nothing wrong with it as long as it makes sense. And in this instance, it made some form of sense on how they changed some things. I'm not sure how I felt about them writing out the night nurse too much. She didn't play that big of a role in any of the Netflix shows. She didn't play too much of a role compared to her first season. I do think maybe she could have played more of a role in season 2, but you know, to each his own. She only played like four or five episodes, and then she left. And I like how, you know, Luke Cage and Bushmaster ended up fighting. Those fights, I actually liked the sequences of the fights. I liked how, you know, Mariah was much more ruthless and how Shays was a little ruthless, but there were some things that I thought they could do better, because I know a lot of people that I've personally talked to did not like the ending of Luke Cage, and they felt like it was a dud after everything that went through. I tried to explain that, and I'll still try to explain that what his thought process was. You see, when Mariah did what she did, she was saying that she felt like he would be drunk with the power, and if he gets drunk with the power, he will lose sight of what he was doing. He feels that if he can dip his hand into the crime organization, he can control what they are doing if he becomes one. So in essence, he may be a kingpin, but he himself, the character Luke Cage, did not feel he was a kingpin or a crime boss or a crime lord, even though in a technical sense he was a crime lord. Like, you're a crime lord. Also, I just want to point out that the direction that I believe they were going, they could have introduced Tombstone or the Wrecking Crew to challenge Luke Cage's rule as the new crime boss for a season 3. Unfortunately, it got canceled, all the Netflix, but I think it might potentially get revived, because I think Marvel is doing something like DC where they're having their own streaming service, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think they are doing that, and I hope they do, because like I said, I hope they do season 3 of Luke Cage. I really do hope. I actually don't hope that they don't reboot it, because season 2 was like amazing. Like, some people didn't like it, but I liked it. I loved it. I've seen it too many times. I love, because it's just everything about season 2, and what people getting their heads cut off, and how, like I told you about the gang war, but the storyline as far as why Bushmaster was after Mariah, I thought that was cool. Then Tilda, who in the comic books she has no relations to Mariah, but in this she does. It's her daughter from, a rape or whatever, and she was leaning towards becoming the new Nightshade, because in the comic books Tilda is Nightshade in the comic book. So she was becoming, actually at the end, if y'all saw, she was dressed and looked more like her comic book counterpart. But they also said characters' names, what led me to believe these characters may show up. They said Slide, Curtis, or all those who don't know, Curtis Carr is the alchemist. And I do think that he will play a role. The other disappointing thing, though, was that Jessica Jones didn't actually show up in Luke Cage. And I was hoping that, like, for season 3, she makes an appearance in New York or something. But they obviously, for whatever reason, didn't want her to show up. But that's, writers. But I do think that was disappointing. But Iron Fist did show up, and oh man, I forgot her name. Oh, Colleen Wing. She was in the beginning of the show. They actually had Mr. Fish in it too, for people who don't realize. They had a lot of Luke Cage's bad guys, and half of them got killed off. They had Piranha. Big Ben Donovan is a bad guy of Luke Cage, but the role Big Ben Donovan played in the TV show actually is a role that he plays in the comic book. But I do think that you guys should watch season 2. I think season 2 was way better than season 1, and excuse me. I do think that, and I do think that in retrospect that it got canceled way too soon for whatever reason. I've seen rumors. Some say it was creative differences. Some were just saying like Netflix just wanted to cancel the shows and add in their own shows, which is fine. But whatever the reasoning for them canceling the show, I will recommend anybody to at least give it a shot. If you've never seen Luke Cage season 2, to give it a shot and just tell me what you think of it, because I think Luke Cage season 2 was amazing. But again, Luke Cage season 2 is not for everyone, and not everyone will enjoy it. But if you like what I had to say about Luke Cage season 2, just hit that like button for me, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Peace out.